Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we have a lot of new subscribers here. So the last video I posted, actually I think 2 videos ago, it was the 10 brands that I am not picking up in 2024. That video has kind of exploded compared to the normal views and comments and likes that I get. So I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that video. And we have a lot of new subscribers from that. So welcome to my channel. If you do not know, my name is Kami and I'm a part-time reseller. So I sell on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, and all those will be linked down below if you want to go and browse and see what I got in my stores. But today I'm doing kind of the opposite of that video. I'm going to be telling you brands that I'm going to be looking out for this year. So there's going to be a total of 24. We're going to do 10 brands that I've never found before, 10 brands that I have found before, but probably only once or twice, but I really love them. They've sold really well for me, and I would still consider them BOLOs. And then 4 brands that are probably more on the side of bread and butter. They're not, super luxury brands or brands that I hardly ever find, but they're brands that I am absolutely going to be picking up in 2024. All right, so first we're going to start off with the 4 brands that I have found plenty of times and I will continue to be picking up in 2024. I get still excited when I find them, but I do definitely find them more often than the next set that we'll talk about. So those 4 brands, there's 2 that are very similar in what they make and what they sell, and that is Icebreaker. And so they sell like outdoors, layering type pieces made from merino wool, regular wool, those sort of really warm materials. And then Smart Wool, which again is going to be made from wool, merino wool, also very high quality cotton, things like that. And they both sell and make more layering, hiking, outdoorsy pieces, and those 2 brands sell very well for me, very fast, and they usually garner between $30 to $50 depending upon the piece. All right, the next brand is Patagonia, or some resellers call it Patagucci. So this is one that I'm wearing right now, actually, but it is a very well made outdoors again, layering brand. You'll kind of see a theme with these. So they use a lot of great materials, but they brand a lot of their stuff like this, and I think people like to see that. So there's a lot of t-shirts that they make where it's big graphics in the back with the name spelt out, and it's just a really good quality brand. They sell a wide variety of things. I usually don't pick up the dresses or skirts, but I'll pretty much pick up anything. And if you find an outerwear piece, that's where the real big money is. All right, and the 4th brand, again, I find it pretty frequently, and you guys probably, if you have watched my channel for a while, you probably don't, you're not surprised that this is on this list, and that is Lululemon. Now, I will say Lululemon is somewhat saturated on the resale market, but I try to price my items very well. I try to take really great pictures, and I try to describe it pretty well. It moves semi-decently, like fast for me, and most of the pieces I sell between $30 and $55. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in selling. Now there's definitely pieces that only get me $10, $15 depending on the condition, the style. I try to pick up things that have been made within the last 5 years. If there's no size daughter tag, it's kind of hard to tell that, but for the most part, I'll pick it up if it's the right price. All right, now these next 10 items I have found before, but only a handful of times, with the exception of one, and I'm going to talk about that one first. So that brand is Vuori. Vuori is a more newer, or at least newly popular outdoors activewear brand, very similar to Lululemon, and they make both men's and women's. This brand sells so fast for me. I'm not even kidding you. I listed 2 t-shirts in a haul that I had, and I think I've already shown the haul, so I'll list it up here, but 2 exact same t-shirts, and they both sold same day I listed it. So that is how quickly they can sell. A lot of pieces, especially their pants, can go for a higher amount. The t-shirts sold, I believe, about $30, $35, but they sell so quickly. It's a very popular brand, and so that's why I have it on this list in particular. I wouldn't say I found it not nearly as much as Lululemon, but I probably found 20 to 30 pieces. And yeah, it's definitely a brand that I get really excited when I find or when my husband finds. All right, this next brand is mostly a jeans brand. I have found this brand with 2 t-shirts, but the jeans and the pants is really where it's at, and that is Mother. So with those jeans and pants, you're really going to kind of see that it is Mother because of the M's on the back pants pocket. That's pretty distinguishable, but they have really great quality jeans, and I found it maybe 2 or 3 times, and they've sold very fast for me, and for a decent amount of money, $50 to $100 depending upon the style. I was watching Instagram, and I don't remember who it was, but they were showing some things they found, and they found a new with tags pair of Mother jeans, and I was so jealous, not even gonna lie. All right, the next brand I've only found one time, and that is Teeks. Now, I will say from when I first heard about this brand, which was probably about 2 years ago, to now, the resale price has decreased a little bit. However, I think the more unique colors and unique like more rare colors, those are going to sell still, I think, for crazy amounts of money. So they are a flat brand, but you can fold the flats in half and stick them like in your purse or something like that. They usually come with, I think, a bag that you can put them in, but they're very versatile. They're supposed to be very comfortable. I don't know, I haven't, I don't have a pair of my own, but I did find a pair at a garage sale this last summer. It is still listed, but I'm hoping it'll sell soon. All right, the next brand is probably a brand most of you guys have heard of. It's more of a luxury designer brand, and that is Burberry. So there's a couple different lines of Burberry. There's regular Burberry, Burberry Brit, and I think there's one more if I'm not mistaken, but I have found those first 2 a couple of times, and it's definitely one that I don't find super often in my area in Oklahoma. There's usually just not a whole lot of those more luxury brands. And if there is, it's usually sold like at a thrift store or consignment store, and it's marked up very high. So I wouldn't be picking it up. But you can tell majority of the time that it is a Burberry item because of this classic print I'm gonna put up here. It's called their house check. Now there's lots of companies out there who mimic it and all of that, but that is an easy way to at least look and see if it is Burberry. But this is one that I have sold a couple of times, and I'd be really excited to pick it up again. All right, the next one is MM Lafleur. So it is a women's brand that they make more like kind of business casual pieces, really elegant but still casual dresses, tops, pants, and I've only found this brand I believe twice. One item was given to me by a friend, and the other one I found at a thrift store, and they've both sold really quickly and for a decent amount of money. I believe one had a flaw, so it wasn't a crazy amount of money, but yeah, it's definitely, they also have like plus size in their brand, and so if you can find a plus size item, it can definitely go for more, but it's definitely one that I always keep a lookout for. Their logo is pretty plain, like if you're flipping through you can probably easily miss it, but I'm gonna put that up here just so you guys can be familiar with that brand. All right, the next brand is Veronica Beard. Now I have found one item by this brand, and it was a pair of jeans. It did take quite a while to sell, but I think it still sold for about $75. If you can find blazers by Veronica Beard, that is where the real money is. I usually don't look through the blazer section, maybe I should, but that is the one brand that I know their blazers sell for a crazy amount of money, and I'm always on the lookout for it. Next is Aviator Nation. So this is a brand that I don't really know a whole lot of backstory on, but they do have a pretty standout logo. I'm gonna put it up here. So if you see it, or the tag on the inside of like a t-shirt, it's very large and it definitely has this logo. So you should be able to see it. Sometimes it just says AV. And that's just kind of how the inside looks, but it is called Aviator Nation, and I think I found it once or twice, and my husband found a couple of pieces, and they've sold really well. I have none in my closet right now, so I'd be excited to find it again. All right, another more like outdoorsy brand is Arc'teryx. I have found it 5 to 10 times, but this brand has always sold very fast for me. You know, I'm not, I think they make pretty high quality stuff, but I'm not really sure what kind of draws people to this brand exactly. So if you guys know any more information about some of these brands that I don't know a whole lot about, make sure to comment it down below. But I just know this brand has sold really well for me, and it's very easy to tell what the style name is because it's on their tag as long as someone hasn't ripped out the tag. And it's pretty easy to find information to be able to list these items as well. All right, the last shoe brand that I have on here is Freebirds. It also goes by, I believe, Freebirds by Steven, but these are shoes that you can kind of think of them as Fry-esque, so they're more kind of that Western boot wear, and they are meant to look distressed. They're gonna have, you know, scratches, they're gonna have distressing, and that's just how they come from the manufacturer. But these sell for a lot. I've only found it once, and it was at a garage sale, and I think she asked like $5 for a pair of boots, and I remember it sold for a really good amount of money. I'll have to put the listing up here because I don't remember exactly how much, but I'm always on the lookout for it. It will have a really cool design on the bottom of the shoe, typically, or on the inside. I believe it's like an eagle with a banner on it, and it says Freebird by Steven. So you can usually tell that it's a Freebird shoe pretty easily. All right, and then the last brand that I have found before, but I still consider BOLO, and I really want to find it again. This one is the Piece de Resistance for me. So last year, actually now like a year and a half ago, my husband and I went to Charleston, South Carolina, just for vacation, but we also thrifted, and we went to the Bins, or the Goodwill outlet location there, and there was not a whole lot of people. They, you know, pushed out new carts, said go, and I pick up a piece and I see this really long tag, and there's a name on it that in my mind seems familiar, and I thought, I think I heard Becky Park talk about it. She's a reseller and a YouTuber here, so I will put her information down below. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a good piece. And then it dawned on me that it is an amazing piece. And then when I did comps on this piece, yeah, I was like, I need to go back and look in that bin. I ended up finding one more item. I'm pretty sure there was probably a couple more because these were all fresh donations. They had never made it into a thrift store. And I'm pretty sure there was more, just other people got to it before I did. But that brand is Magnolia Pearl. I made a crazy amount of profit on this. Now there was one top and one pair of jeans. They're distressed. They look like they should be thrown away, but that is how they come. I don't know what draws people to pay this much for clothes that are purposely distressed to this extent. I mean, if I were someone in a thrift store and I was going through donations, I would truly just put these in the trash if I didn't know what that brand was. But people love them. So I believe the pants sold for over 300 and the top sold for over 200. So it is absolutely at the top of my BOLOs that I found before list. I always look for it, but I don't think I'm gonna find it here in Oklahoma, but we'll see if I ever find it while traveling to Source. I do love to travel to Source. If you are new here, I usually post videos when we go places of hauls. I have a couple recent ones within the last couple months where we went to Denver in September. So make sure to check out my playlist. It'll be under thrift hauls, and there's some really good thrifting, sourcing videos there. All right, now we're down to the last 10, and these 10 are probably the most exciting ones because I've never found them. I will be ecstatic when I do because I fully believe I'm gonna find some of these this year. Which, by the way, if you guys have any brands that you are gonna be looking for that you've never found before this year, make sure to put that down in the comments below so we can kind of share in case there's additional ones that we may not know of, and we can kind of collaborate that way. All right, there are 3 that are probably at the very tippy top of this list, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get them out of the way because I'm so excited about them. So the first one I look for so often, it is Farm Rio. This is an Anthropologie brand, but their dresses are very unique prints. They're very bold colors, and they are just beautiful. I can never pull them off, but I think they would be very beautiful to photograph on my wall and list and sell, and they do typically sell for quite a pretty penny. So that is definitely at the top. The next one is Suzanne. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I see so many people get this brand, and I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna find it here, but I think they sell tops, dresses, pants, all sorts of categories. So I don't really know that there's a particular category that I look at, whereas Farm Rio, typically I'm gonna be looking for dresses. So I usually go to the dress section and look for that. But Cezanne, I think, can be anywhere and everywhere. So that's something I'm keeping a lookout for this year. And the third one that's probably at the tippy top of the list is Spell on the Gypsy, or I think they go by Spell now. They've taken out in the Gypsy, but maybe they're older pieces. If you find one, it will have that full name on there. So this, I believe, is mostly dresses. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard this brand can do really, really well. I've seen a handful of people pick it up. I think usually 150 plus for resale value. So I would love to find one. It's been probably one of the brands that have been on my BOLO list for the longest. I've been reselling for about 3.5 years now. So it's definitely up there just because I finally want to see it. I finally want to find it. All right, the next one is Dale of Norway. So this brand has lots of sweaters, a lot of wool materials, and they're really high quality sweater. I did find Aran Crafts, A-R-A-N Crafts, that brand of sweater, and it did really well for me. And I've seen this brand, Dale of Norway, do really, really well even more, but it's very similar styles. Not necessarily Kuji style, but like, if you were living in the Arctic, you would want this sweater because it's going to keep you very, very warm. All right, the next brand is Schutz or Schultz, something like that. I'm gonna have it up here. But this is, I believe, mostly just a shoe wear brand. I don't really find a whole lot of great shoes around me, but this is one that I've heard has a really great resale value. Their styles are really cute, and they could make me a lot of money, but I've never found it before, and I'd like to just say that I found it once. All right, this next brand is kind of a nostalgic throwback. It's a newer brand, however, I don't believe it's made anymore. So I think they started making it maybe 5-6 years ago, and then within the last couple of years, they've stopped making it. But the creators of this brand is where the nostalgic comes in. So I'm a 90s baby, and I used to watch Mary-Kate and Ashley like crazy. All of their like mystery, like TV series, all of their movies when they were younger up to when they were teenagers. And so yeah, this is a very nostalgic type brand for me because they're the ones who created this brand. It's a very high-end but basic brand, and there was like a cult following with this, and now that they don't make it anymore, I don't know how good my odds are of finding it, but if I do find it, I think it can go for a decent amount because you're just not gonna find new styles from this brand. It's always gonna be whatever they made while it was in existence. But yeah, I would be really excited to find this. All right, the next brand is called The Great. That's all it's called. I've seen pants, and I've seen sweaters and cardigans and tops. So I think they make a wide variety of things. I think it's a more high quality, higher retail brand. I don't know too much about it, but I've seen plenty of people pick it up and sell it for a decent amount. All right, the next two I believe are very similar in style and retail value, and that is Love Shack Fancy. I believe mostly I'd be looking for dresses in this brand, and then for Love and Lemons, and again, I think mostly dresses, but possibly also t-shirts, or not t-shirts, but tops. They're kind of more like on Hill House, which is not on my list this year, but it is on my list. I will say I have a lot more bolos than this, but I'm only sharing 10 just for time's sake. But that is on my BOLO list, just not on this video. Anyway, Hill House is a very couture, preppy brand, and I think these two brands kind of follow suit with that. All right, the last brand on here is, I believe, the only strictly men's brand that is on any of my list. Most of the other brands have either sold only women's clothing or they sell both women's and men's, but this brand is called Flint and Tender, and it is a men's wear brand. So they make polos, shirts, pants. And yeah, I've seen quite a few people recently pick it up and it sell for a decent amount. And my husband actually likes to go thrifting with me, so he usually searches through the men's section while I search through the women's section. So that is definitely one that he knows about and knows to look for in case he finds it. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found some brands on here that maybe you didn't know about or want to go and research more about. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about all of these brands, but if you know of anything else that I forgot to mention about these brands, make sure to comment it down below, as well as if you have any additional brands that you would suggest everyone be on the lookout for. That would be really appreciated. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And if you are new here but haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to do that on your way out as well. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.